Bob Woodard.
Cyril Spider.
Judy Beck.
John Curtis.
I'm Mark Sherwood.
Jane Brown.
I'd like to open the meeting by saying thank you all very much for attending the meeting. We're going to have a very busy agenda again this evening, so I'd like to try to stay on track and have the meeting just 2 hours long. We're going to be talking with Coulter again this evening, an update on the pool, and we also have our DPFG engineer here to introduce herself as well. She'll be working in conjunction with Coulter and the board on the pool phases. We also have RFPs from DPFG for the update on facility manager hiring, and also several contracts that we need to go over this evening. So I'd like to open the meeting by saying that the residents that are in attendance will please sign in the index cards if you wish to speak during the public remarks or public comments. You will have time, you will have 3 minutes time to address your concerns and comments to me as the CDD board chair. If time permits during the meeting, when the topics that you have concerns or comments about comes up on the agenda, the board will discuss it at that time. Your time, as I stated, will be 3 minutes per residence, and I ask you to please be polite to other residents and stop speaking when your time is up. Your remarks and concerns are very important to all the board supervisors and myself. And I just wanted to remind you that it's not a town hall meeting. We need to keep this as a governmental board meeting. So I'll try to retain order as best I can, unlike in the past. But I'm going to appoint John Roberta as our parliamentarian this evening so that he can address some of the issues if we need to call order in the meeting. If the meeting gets out of hand, I will motion for adjournment, and we will adjourn the meeting. So that's all I have to say right now.
Yeah, let me just a couple of remarks too. I mean, the basic things, looks like there's a microphone set up here, and just please talk one at a time, not what we're talking. And a lot of districts, when you have the initial initial presentation of resident comments or public comments, normally it's an opportunity to receive the information, not necessarily get into a complex dialogue. And everybody should really kind of defer to the chair, to work through the chair in terms of order. So it's rare that in other districts you don't normally would have, like, for example, Vicky would not necessarily start engaging other people and say, you have an point to the chair. And if we keep it focused that way, it's going to be easier also for the record, and it's easy for the both the audio and the video. So thank you for your consideration, folks.
Do any of the board members have any revisions to the agenda?
Yeah, that's good. Just to let you know, Arif is going to be a little late. He's the chair of the pool subcommittee, and he had comments regarding the pool and culture situation. So if we could, I think that'll be after he gets here, but if it's before, if we can push it back when he gets here.
Well, actually, in order to keep on track in the meeting, anyone that is not here to address the public comments while we're in that particular area of the agenda, we ask that they address them at the end of the meeting.
Okay. I don't think his comments are for the public comments since he's the chair of the subcommittee. I think it's during the subcommittee presentation.
Well, that's,
Yeah, well, may not be a problem. Maybe
right,
10
exactly.
minutes, so it's fine. We'll just
work with that since he's in the meeting.
Yes. During our last meeting, conversation came up, and we made a recommendation that if people are violating first of all, speeding and things like that type of violation. We would recommend that the barcode maybe be pulled or canceled.
We'll defer to Mr. Straley for that.
I spoke to David Norman prior to the meeting, and I think I'm familiar with the issue. The concern I've got is, and David's familiar with this because when he was chair for the end of his term, we worked on new post orders. And the problem that we're confronted with is the roads, the guardhouse, and I assume the gates themselves were all financed with tax-exempt bond proceeds and are considered and are in fact public property that belong to a governmental unit. I'm a little concerned about, I understand what you're trying to achieve. You're not the only district that has tried to do this. What I see very commonly is districts where the HOA owns, the district owns the beach club, and we seek to deprive residents in the community of use of the beach club because they haven't paid their POA dues. My office on several occasions has kind of researched that issue to death, and it is our belief that you can't do that. I understand why districts would want to do it to incentivize people to pay their POA assessments, but in my judgment, it's improper to do so. David, what you're proposing, or what the committee is proposing, is similar to that, and it gives me some pause. What I could suggest would be, I'm happy to discuss it with bond counsel. That's the guy that renders the opinion as to the tax-exempt characteristic of the bonds, and he would be the one that's the tax expert that really ought to speak to this.
Yeah, except that the covenants that everybody has signed states that in order to utilize the facilities and et cetera, you have to be in good standing. If you still owe a bill to the POA or a fine against you that you haven't paid, you're not in good standing. Now, we're not inhibiting anybody from coming in. We're just inconveniencing them to have to use the non-resident gate rather than the residential gate.
Understood. But the covenants are private contractual relationships that were established between, by the developer, between the residents here at Cory Lakes, but it's all private. And those are private covenants. And the question is, can the district restrict access or use of public facilities because somebody in a private setting has not paid their POA assessments? I mean, I completely understand why you want to do it. If I were in your shoes, I'd want to do it too. I just don't want the district to do something that would jeopardize the tax-exempt status of its bonds.
So your legal opinion is they can't do it? Is that
That is my belief, and if there's strong sentiment and an interest in doing it, I'm happy to talk to bond counsel. He's truly the expert, and I'm not.
Well, could we get a straw vote from the board to see if they're interested in proceeding?
Can I make one comment? That we're not inconveniencing anyone until those gate attendants actually stop every single person every day, make them hand them their driver's license every single day. Because what they do, the residents who don't have barcodes, they come in, they just wave them through. So it's not an inconvenience at all.
No, I've spoken with Ryan, I've spoken with Cory to make sure that we weren't going to create a problem for either or if we went through this. Neither one let's see the problem with it.
Well, can we table this for now until we get some additional counsel on it?
So we want to direct bond counsel to look into it?
Well, what I think I could do is let me call Mike Williams up, just have a quick discussion with him, for which I don't think he's going to generate any kind of bill. And if he thinks that, he